Good afternoon. We're all a little way too quiet in here. This is a festive occasion. The investiture of the 13th president of Northern Illinois University. This is a big day. Do y'all mind if I take my hat off? Is my hair okay? Okay, so I need to tell you a little bit of a story about the robe, right? The regalia that I finally have on. So when I got to the room where we put the regalia on, Dr. Freeman is kind of looking over the vast array of different regalia that she has from Cornell, from The Ohio State University. By the way, we're renaming NIU as of today, the NIU. Kidding, no one write that down. And then, of course, she's looking at her new one for NIU, the regalia for NIU that she's wearing today. And have you ever seen the flashing lights that they kind of have on houses at Christmas time where they're flashing things from the outside? All of those lights are like flashing on hers. And it's really cool, and I'm thinking, okay, where's mine? This is great. And they take me over to the corner where the lights are out. And there's a very small bag, and they open it up, and there's a plain black robe in there. And I'm like, well, where's the fancy ones that they have? They said, well, those are for PhDs. This is the Bachelor of Science regalia robe. I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm like, well, where's the stripes? And they said, well, those are for people who have honors. And then she just stares at me. She knew. And then I look at it and I see something on the back of it. It was a color I didn't recognize. It was like somebody took a box of 64 Crayola crayons and they melted them all together. And this was the color that was on the back, and it was kind of forming an S. And I thought, well, this is good. So does this mean that I'm super? Does this mean that I'm sensational? And she said, no, that actually means that the university was surprised that you graduated. But then the Board of Trustees bailed me out, and they gave me a Board of Trustee regalia, so now I feel like I'm included. I'm Dennis Barcima, Chair of the Board of Trustees. Thank you all for being here today. Before I begin, I would like to invite all current and former trustees who are in attendance today to please stand and be recognized. The word trustee is not an arbitrary term. It means we hold the university in trust for future generations of students. One of the primary roles of the Board of Trustees is to select the president of the university. It's from this leadership that all priorities, programs, and results are born and brought through NIU. In the soon-to-be 125-year history of NIU, this is just the 13th time that we have had this occasion, and it is my pleasure to represent the Board of Trustees on this very special day. We live in times where we so desperately need to replace the word divided with united, where everything we do needs to be done in an inclusive, not exclusive way, where role models and open doors exist for everyone, where the exception becomes the norm. With that as our roadmap, while it is always an honor to welcome a new chief executive. It is of particular significance to do this for the first time for the first female executive of NIU. This is the milestone that the entire board is so proud to be a part of. The lines on our collective NIU face pay tribute to our journey. We have many challenges behind us and many opportunities in front of us. But our opportunities come with many tests because we live in very uncertain times today, especially for higher education, especially in our state. A couple of examples. As the population of our state retreats over the coming years, future years will see the number of high school graduates in our state shrinking. At the same time, more and more of those that are graduating high school are making decisions to go out of state for college, or in a lot of cases not go to college at all. The effort to attract students to our state and our campus has become critical and very competitive. Also, we have dealt with an uncertain budget from the state that has put tremendous pressure and focus on a balanced budget for NIU. With these and other challenges in mind, the Board of Trustees feels strongly that enrollment and retention of students, fiscal responsibility and sustainability, and using our diversity as our strength are all keys to our future success and key priorities for the new administration. We are greatly encouraged by the leadership of NIU. We have tremendous confidence in Dr. Freeman and her team. In her 12 months as acting president and the now more than 6 months of being in the full-time role, she has retained, hired, or promoted an excellent team of leaders. And as someone who was in the business world for a lot of years, I won't say how many, I can assure you that without a strong team of leaders, success becomes almost impossible. Dr. Freeman has put together a group of leaders who can and will help NIU succeed even in the face of a stiff wind. And for that, we are truly grateful. The task of finding the 13th president of NIU began in the fall of 2017 when the chair and the vice chair of the Board of Trustees met with constituent groups throughout the NIU family and local DeKalb community, from students to faculty, staff, alumni, and civic leaders. We asked what values and characteristics they wanted in the next leader of NIU. We heard words like transparency, trust, dynamic, passion for NIU, accountability, vision, and respect. The board then convened in late 2017 a committee consisting of faculty, staff, and students and alumni to help prepare us for a successful outcome. The committee was charged with several tasks, including the creation of the presidential profile and job description. While all this was going on, Dr. Freeman, in her acting role, was continuing to move NIU forward in a very thoughtful, respectful, dynamic, and transparent way. The charge she received from the Board of Trustees when she was installed as acting president in July of 2017 was, don't just keep the seat warm, keep us moving forward. And move us forward she did. As we received the desired profile from the committee in mid-2018, the board realized that the person they were describing was already in the seat. In Dr. Freeman, we have a leader who not only values but demonstrates transparency and accountability in her everyday life. She is someone the NIU family trusts and respects. She has an aggressive but realistic vision for NIU, as looked at by the recent Strategic Management Enrollment Plan. And more than anything else, Lisa has an undying love and passion for all things NIU. Since arriving on our campus in 2010, she has realized what it means to be a Husky. Huskies have grit. Huskies love doing it the hard way. Huskies aren't afraid to take risk, fail, and get back up. Huskies support each other. And most of all, a Husky is someone who never gives up, no matter what. All of this and more is who NIU is, and all of these are values embodied by Dr. Freeman. So let me finish by saying that the Board of Trustees is excited about the future of NIU. We are a great institution of learning and growth. We have great faculty and leadership at all levels. We are a great research university with a national and global footprint. We are focused on creating student success through our academic programs, experiential learning, professor and alumni interaction, and a robust campus experience. We are geographically located near the greatest town in Chicago, the greatest town in the country, Chicago. DeKalb is the greatest town located close to Chicago. We continue to develop great business partners like Discover Card and Ideal Industries, who are giving our students amazing learning and job opportunities. And here is the key reason we are excited about the future of NIU. With great leadership, anything and everything is possible. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, congratulations to Dr. Freeman and to NIU. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Greetings, administration, faculty, staff, students, and community members. My name is Kyrie Cross, and I'm the current Student Association President for NIU. Today, I have the honor of representing my fellow students and congratulating our new president, Dr. Lisa Freeman. President Freeman has always been a humble servant to students, faculty, and community members of DeKalb. From representing NIU to the Illinois legislature to having a slice of pizza with students discussing prevalent issues on campus, President Freeman has truly exemplified qualities a president should have. A president should be caring, flexible, transparent, and compassionate. And President Freeman demonstrates all these qualities. No matter how good you think you are as a leader, the people around you will offer a lot of ideas as to how you can improve. The most fundamental thing about leadership is to listen and be open to feedback, because your job is to elevate the people around you. On her journey to becoming president, Dr. Freeman had a lot of support, but also faced challenges. She did not let that stop her drive to represent and understand the student body. President Freeman presented many opportunities for student leaders to hear her vision and provide feedback. Not only is she a great listener, she also champions and does her best to act in regards to student concerns. President Freeman is dedicated to giving students the opportunity to meet and express any concerns that they may have. It is so refreshing to see a top administrator at our university so engaged and always available to the student body. From large events to the smallest venues, Dr. Freeman is there to lend her support. On behalf of the student body at NIU, I want to congratulate you on your appointment to the president of Northern Illinois University. The Student Association attended and contributed in many events and forums leading up to your appointment. We look forward to your continued success as you champion the causes of funding higher education, increasing current enrollment, and supporting social justice issues for our university. As the author Iyanla Van Zandt notes, a leader takes people where they want to go. A great leader takes people where they don't necessarily want to go, but ought to be. President Freeman, continue to elevate this university and the people surrounding you, and on behalf of the Student Association and the student body, we welcome and cheer you on as Northern Illinois University's 13th president. Thank you.
It is with unbelievable and great honor that I speak to you today about our president, Dr. Lisa Freeman. My name is Katie Jekyll, and I'm an assistant professor in the College of Education. And as a faculty member who teaches in the higher education program here at NIU, I teach my students, many of whom are here today, who will go on to work with students across the world in other higher education settings, that perhaps the most important thing any of us can do to foster success for our students is to encourage what Rosenberg and McCullough call a sense of belonging. Here, a sense of belonging generally refers to feelings of connectedness, that one is important or matters to others. And while there are many keys to academic and social success for our students, there is perhaps no more important thing than their success than feeling as if they belong, knowing that they matter. What we know is that in order to foster a sense of belonging, we must provide opportunities for academic and social integration, opportunities to build relationships with peers, with faculty, and with staff, and to see ourselves reflected in and out of the classroom. And while a sense of belonging is generally meant to pertain to students on our campuses, I have found that the same notion of mattering and of belonging is just as true for those of us who work on college campuses. Knowing that we matter, that our contributions are recognized and valued, seeing ourselves reflected in the values and the missions of this university, let us know that we too belong here. We matter too. It is this very sense of belonging that President Freeman espouses and encourages every day for our faculty and our staff and our students. As a member of Faculty Senate, the Presidential Commission for Gender and Sexual Identity, and as the faculty advisor for our LGBTQ student organization, PRISM, and as someone who works to collaborate with academic and student affairs offices across the campus, I've had so many opportunities to connect with campus community. In fact, as I prepared this for today, I took the opportunity to ask each of these groups what they would say if they had this honor to speak to you today about our president. And what I quickly discovered is that so many people, those who are faculty, staff, and students, feel a sense of belonging on this campus largely because of President Freeman's advocacy and support. Many shared how they felt included, appreciated, and supported. Some of the most powerful examples come from our students, which is typically the case, whose words I wish to share with you today. One of our students, a member of our LGBTQ student organization, shared that President Freeman knew her name, has shaken her hand, and excitedly exclaimed, "has office hours." Most of the students echoed the same sentiment: she shows up. She shows up with such advocacy and such support that our students feel seen, that our faculty and that our staff feel seen. Another student shared that Dr. Freeman is more than pen to paper. She is action and she listens. In this way, President Freeman has let us know that we matter, that our voices count, and as a dear colleague shared with me, it's as if President Freeman has set the tone for our students, that they recognize that being listened to is now the rule, it is not the exception. Her tireless advocacy and support and vision to this university has led so many of us to feel as if we belong here. And it has shown us that we matter. We are grateful for President Freeman's support, her work, and her leadership, and we are so proud to work and learn and grow alongside her. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Holly Nicholson, President of the Operating Staff Council.
And I'm Kathy Doderlein, President of the Supporter Professional Staff Council. It is our honor to be here today to speak on behalf of staff in formally welcoming Dr. Lisa C. Freeman into her role as the 13th President of Northern Illinois University. We greatly appreciate staff being included in this special investiture tradition and feel our being invited to speak today is a great example of the spirit with which we see President Freeman leading this university. Dr. Freeman is a strong and capable leader with a clear passion for NIU and a vision for our future. And through her leadership style, she makes it clear that she sees the inclusion of all of NIU's voices as a key to our future successes.
During the search process, the Board of Trustees sought input from the campus regarding Dr. Freeman as our next president. In meeting with our constituents, that sentiment of inclusivity rang true in the feedback we received. During a Check Your Blind Spots event on campus last August, a colleague and I were scrolling through the lists of leaders who had signed the Pledge for Inclusivity. And when we found President Freeman's name, my colleague turned to the volunteer and said, "That's my president. That's my president." She said it with the pride and the affirmation that President Freeman is just the leader NIU needs to achieve our goals and take us to the next level.
As not only staff members, but also both proud graduates of this great institution, we're both very excited to be here. We see the investiture of Dr. Freeman as a truly momentous occasion. And as NIU's first woman president, there's additional historical significance that is exciting to witness. Having myself essentially grown up on this campus, it is wonderful to see an institution that has meant so much to my entire family take this monumental step.
President Freeman is the right leader for NIU. She has already consistently demonstrated her support for staff and has proven herself to be a fair-minded, decisive, ethical, and transparent leader, as well as a creative and diplomatic problem solver. The campus's recent revision of our vision, mission, and value statements reflect her priorities. Research, innovation, engagement, equity, integrity, and service are key to advancing the social mobility of our campus community. Additionally, the Strategic Enrollment Management Plan developed under President Freeman's leadership has given us all a clear, united path forward. Not only was it a collaborative process with specific goals and tactics defined, there is a foundational system of assessment and accountability.
Even just with more simple acts, such as hosting office hours, getting up early on a snow day to deliver donuts to operating staff members clearing the grounds, or helping to deliver the news of awards to recently honored members of supporter professional staff, she has shown her dedication to our campus. She has a well-rounded perspective regarding the needs of our students and of all categories of employees at NIU, and has a strong educational and research-oriented background that informs her perspective. We are thankful for the opportunity to speak today and are thankful to the board for their leadership in guiding us to this point in the university's history. We appreciate the board seeking campus input for the process and believe this is the right decision to move NIU forward.
President Freeman, thank you for your openness, for your inclusivity, for your passion, for your advocacy, and for your belief in NIU's potential.
Staff stand ready to move NIU forward with you. Go Huskies.
Good afternoon. My name is Carol Crenshaw, and I'm a proud alumni, and I'm also a member of the NIU Foundation Board. I've been a board member since 2009, and it gives me great honor to represent the foundation in welcoming Dr. Freeman as the new president of NIU. As I offer my congratulations and words of welcome to Lisa Freeman this afternoon, I speak not only on behalf of the board members, but also on behalf of the thousands of students who will find opportunity and success as part of the vibrant university community under Dr. Freeman's leadership. You know, over the past year and a half, my colleagues and I have had deep and meaningful interactions with Dr. Freeman at our various board meetings, at university and foundation events, and we've been truly impressed. As Dennis stated, there were a lot of attributes that we were looking for in the next president, and as I said, we were impressed by her keen insight, her impeccable work ethic, her thoughtful engagement, the transparency she brings to the office, and most of all, her unparalleled dedication to our students. You know, when we look at Lisa Freeman, we see a leader. We see a leader who can make Northern a first-choice destination. I mean, and that's critical. When students think about college, we need them to think about NIU, that it is the place for them to be. And we see her as being able to move that agenda forward and have individuals, smart, determined young people come to NIU. They come with grit, imagination, and a hunger for learning. You know, we see Lisa as a leader who will foster innovation, entrepreneurship, and who will make NIU known for its research capabilities and for the social mobility of our students. You know, but most of all, and this is critical, but most of all, we see Lisa as a leader who will galvanize our alumni and our donors. You know, without funding, we won't be successful. And we find that Lisa has that true ability to galvanize, to portray or transpose her vision for NIU. She can bring people in, she sucks them into the vision and make them feel a part of it all. She's very genuine, and people can feel that. People can feel when you are genuine, when you really care, when you have passion, and she does that. And that's so critical for the fundraising arm of the university. And so as foundation members, we found Dr. Freeman to be an ideal partner in our fundraising endeavors. She's traveled across the country, she's met with donors, alumni, she talks to them about her vision for NIU, and I can tell you that she's universally embraced. They feel that she's brilliant, that she has grace, that she has the ability to find common ground and to bring people in and make them feel part of the shared vision. So I think it's truly fair to say that our alumni and donors recognize her and her genuine love for the university. They also appreciate her steadfast belief that our students are our best investment in the future. A belief that her and her husband, Dr. Doug Rose, recently demonstrated with a $25,000 scholarship for each and every year of her presidency. So not only does she have passion, not only can she bring people, galvanize and bring people together, but she's put money where her mouth is. Very important, very important. So, Dr. Freeman, I speak for the entire NIU Foundation Board of Directors when I say that we are truly proud to partner with you for the benefit of this great university and our incredible students. You know, we want to thank you for your leadership and for inspiring within us optimism about the future of NIU. So thank you.
And good afternoon. I'm Pete Garrity, and as a longtime member of the Alumni Association Board and the current president of the Alumni Association, it is my honor to offer congratulations and welcome to Dr. Lisa C. Freeman as our new president. I was part of the Presidential Search Planning Committee that was discussed and ultimately identified the profile of the ideal NIU president. We wanted a person with vision, integrity, and passion. We were looking for a person with exceptional communication and interpersonal skills, and we were looking for a leader with the ability to inspire students, faculty, staff, parents, alumni, trustees, and all of our external constituency. I believe that I can speak for the entire committee when I say Dr. Lisa Freeman fits this profile perfectly. Dr. Freeman's academic path is rich with experiences as a faculty member and also as an administrator. She has been a leader who is unparalleled in building consensus while also making hard decisions. When she agreed to assume the role of interim president, she approached the role with remarkable zeal and commitment, and she certainly didn't treat it as an interim position. Dr. Freeman brought strong leadership to a university that needed direction and had critical issues that needed attention. Today, as our new president, she continues to demonstrate the same leadership and the same commitment to excellence. Her interest and investment in NIU are limitless. From athletics to academics to our alumni events, she's actively involved, she's engaged, and she is everywhere. NIU's highest priorities include the recruitment and education of great students. It is our duty as a university to provide them with a world-class experience and graduate them as proud Husky alumni. I stand here before you now as a proud Husky alumni. Jeez. And I can unequivocally say that this university is in good hands. There is no one better to lead this university than Dr. Lisa C. Freeman. Thank you.
I've gotten a little taller today, maybe pride, or this magical box that the College of Engineering made for me quite a long time ago. Members of the Board of Trustees, Chairman Dennis Barcima, immediate past Chairman Wheeler Coleman, members of the faculty, esteemed colleagues, friends and family. This is a great day for NIU and higher education as we celebrate the investiture of Dr. Lisa Freeman as president. Dr. Freeman is a woman of many talents and achievements. Her career could have taken many paths in medicine or science. But Lisa chose higher education, or perhaps serendipitously, higher education chose Lisa. Her achievements are many, her experiences and expertise broad and extensive. But what is most defining of Dr. Lisa Freeman is her integrity and her vision. As an alumni of the College of Law and past chairman of the Board of Trustees, I stand here with great pride, knowing that my alma mater will be in the arms of a leader that will guide this university, respectful of its legacy, but when necessary, with the courage to take a road less traveled. How fortunate I am to count Lisa Freeman not only as a colleague, but as a friend. We worked closely together over many years at NIU, and we found a commonality in our desire to assure the voices of equality would always be heard. Lisa is an individual who builds consensus based on a respect for the ideas and ideologies of others. But she is also a leader who effectively articulates her position, which is always carefully configured. She uses her skills as a scientist and a researcher, honing facts sprinkled with compassion. We are at a challenging time in higher education as we articulate mission, purpose, and execution. We are redefining the profile of our students and situs of learning. We must intertwine the practicality of job skills with the character building of judgment and critical thinking. We are preparing our students for the future based on their ability to adapt to an ever-changing world of technology and globalization. We are preparing the next nurse and therapist, corporate CFO and CEO, social entrepreneur, educator, city planner or manager, circuit court justice, district attorney, musician, physicist, geologist, the next leaders of our communities and our families. We know Dr. Freeman has many achievements. We know she holds a Doctor of Veterinary Medicine from Cornell and a PhD in pharmacology from The Ohio State University. These are her academic credentials. She's always been a high achiever, asking more of herself than others could ask of her. While impressive, they do not solely define Lisa as a person and as a leader. What also defines Lisa is her character, reflective of how she interfaces with her many constituencies and communities. She arrived at NIU as Vice President of Research and Graduate Studies, a position key to maintaining the distinction of NIU as a nationally recognized research institution. She inspired her colleagues to design the experiment, seek the federal or foundation grant, and teach students the love of discovery. Her visionary approach to higher education as a means to teaching critical thinking and judgment indeed inspired her colleagues. And when the opportunity became available, Dr. Freeman was appointed Executive Vice President and Provost, the Chief Academic Officer of a university, the heart of its mission. Dr. Freeman served honorably in this role until she was once again called to serve, this time as acting president of NIU. These were sensitive and tumultuous times on our campus, needing calm, firm, compassionate, and definitive leadership. Lisa showed her stuff to the faculty, the Board of Trustees, and fellow university presidents. She knew where and how to take NIU to assure its continued reputation for excellence, value, and commitment to diversity. And after 18 months, it was evident that there was no person more highly qualified, capable, and deserving to be named the 13th president of Northern Illinois University than Dr. Lisa Freeman. But this is not the complete story. There is another dimension that defines Dr. Lisa Freeman: her relationship with her husband, Dr. Doug Rose. They together have built a life based on mutual respect and admiration. They speak with such joy and pride of each other's accomplishments. They encourage one another and serve as each other's greatest counsel. So we are here today to recognize Dr. Lisa Freeman as she is invested as our president. NIU, blanketed in its past, its legacy, and its future, can sleep well tonight, knowing all of its tomorrows will be guided by an individual who never veers from the fundamental values of what is in the best interest of students in the delivery of cost-effective, quality, and relevant higher education. Congratulations, Madam President.
All right. Since I haven't been here, this is my first time in DeKalb. Mine will be a little different perspective. Lisa knows the topic, so don't be too shocked. This is not your typical academic talk that I'm going to give, and it'll require a little bit more background, but it's all, I believe, highly relevant to this day and this individual. I want to talk a little bit about innate leadership. I'm going to start by giving you my bottom line. I'm then going to offer what I consider to be two key elements of leadership, explain a little bit on how I got there, and then bring it back to today in this event. Bottom line, having spent over a half century inside the ivory tower to date, I've never known anyone more likely or more capable of advancing through the ranks to become a university president than Lisa Freeman. She has amazing innate leadership skills. Now, I'm sure there are many different ideas on what the required elements of leadership might be, but mine are based overwhelmingly on my time in combat 50 years ago, exactly 50 years ago, as it turns out. There are two key leadership principles I took away from that experience that I believe are invaluable to leadership anytime, anywhere, skills embodied by President Freeman. The first one is follow me. The Army's advocated approach to leadership that I learned, and I'll tell you just a little bit about that. The other, it ties to vision, but it's battlefield vision. On a university campus, more relevant than some might think. The ability to survey and decipher the field of battle, know what to do, then do it. Prior to elaborating a brief overview on how I arrived at those keys, first off, I was raised on a dairy farm almost exactly 80 miles straight north of here, just on the other side of Whitewater, Wisconsin. Going to college wasn't an expectation in my family, so after high school, I went to the Rockford School of Business, close by. I then spent a year working and realized that accounting really wasn't my life's calling. So then I did move on to college for 3.5 years. I won't delve into my brilliant idea of taking a semester off, but suffice it to say my draft notice arrived 2 days before Christmas in 1967 to report for duty on January 16th. After basic and advanced infantry training, I attended the non-commissioned officers school set up to address the critical shortage of sergeants in Vietnam. The first principle taught there was follow me. About leading troops into battle. You don't send them into battle, you lead them into battle. Something relevant here. Follow me works exceptionally well in combat, but at a cost. The day we got our stripes, we were told 4 of 5 of us would be killed or wounded in Vietnam based on the existing statistics from over there. Follow me has that effect. 3 weeks after I arrived in Vietnam 50 years ago, on Groundhog Day in 1969, my company was in a dawn-to-dusk battle. That was the first day I experienced the life-saving value of having follow-me leaders with battlefield vision who make the right decisions under fire. Also kind of relevant. In my remaining 3 months in Vietnam, I saw that life-saving value multiple times, and I'm a true believer. Anyhow, I survived Vietnam, got out of the Army after only 19 months, not 24, due to a piece of metal still in my left lung, and finished my undergraduate degree in Whitewater. It was then off to graduate school, postdoctoral research, and the faculty side of my half-century inside academe. Over that time, my best example of a faculty member with battlefield vision who knows what to do is Lisa Freeman. In each and every leadership position she served in at K-State, she delivered. That talent became obvious to me when I was the VP for research, and thus I called on her a lot. Follow me leadership and battlefield vision are innate strengths Lisa exhibited from day one. She continued to hone both over the years at K-State and on her fellowship in Buffalo that I think you're going to hear more about. So I can assure you that Lisa will always do what's best for NIU, for the students, staff, and faculty. She's 100% a follow-me leader, which means her priorities are the troops she's leading, the students, staff, and faculty. She won't ask others to do what she hasn't done or won't do herself. and she'll make decisions in a timely manner, something that's not characteristic on most university campuses, but critical to moving forward. It will always be about all of you out there and what's best for the institution. It will never be about her. That's where follow me leaders separate themselves from all about me leaders who send their troops into battle because they're more worried about themselves and their career than they are about those they're leading. I think that's a critical component here. Lisa and I both like working at aspiring institutions over the proclaimed elite institutions. As aspiring institutions are where follow me and battlefield vision can make the most difference. Maybe dealing with the state's flagship institution, for example. The $15 million grant for the Northern Illinois Center for Community Sustainability in partnership with the University of Illinois might be a good example. In a state starving for resources in recent years, $15 million for facility funding is a big, big deal. Perhaps my final analogy is incorrect, but I suspect NIU's 18-month budget-driven program prioritization process had the look of a battlefield more often than most of you would like to remember. But I'd also bet that Lisa's follow me approach and vision helped get you through it. It probably helped a lot. I know of other examples, and I'm sure you do as well. But in closing, President Freeman's follow me leadership and battlefield vision are awesome. Use them to NIU's advantage. I can guarantee you she will. Thank you.
To the members of the Platform Party, the institutional and learned society delegates that are here today, members of the Northern Illinois University community, including all of the alumni, students, staff, faculty, and those of you from the city of DeKalb and the greater geographic and economic areas served by this esteemed institution. And to you, Dr. Freeman, and to your husband, Dr. Doug Rose, congratulations on this day of investiture. On behalf of the philanthropic community and the 40th anniversary class of fellows of the American Council on Education and your fellow fellows, affectionately known as, well, you know what we're known as, and a son of the great state of Illinois, and an undergraduate and graduate product of the public higher education system here in Illinois, I bring greetings to all of you on this day of your celebration. I first had the pleasure of meeting Lisa 15 years ago, literally 15 years ago this spring in 2004, when we were selected as members of the 40th anniversary class of the Fellows of the American Council of Education. The fellowship prides itself as the premier professional development opportunity to cultivate aspiring and potential leaders of higher education. It is not an easy process, often mired in mystique, something I would personally describe as the unholy union of tenure and hazing, wrapped up in a process that had to begat the television show Survivor, you know, the one whose motto is outlast, outwit, outplay. And who am I kidding? Aren't those all actually the same thing at some point? Moreover, back in the day, the odds of being selected were generally against you. But lo and behold, I had the good fortune of being selected. And among the best outcomes of that selection was meeting Lisa and developing a personal and professional relationship that has now spanned all those years. And if there was any ever doubt, I want to be clear, Lisa deserved that honor of being a fellow. For those of you wondering, the jury's probably still out on me, so. The year we spent as a fellow of ACE, and please note that it is ACE, not ACE. ACE is a hardware store, full of tools. Oh, I had to bite my tongue on that one, right? Because, you know, the academics and their rules, sheesh. I don't want to bore you with a lot of inside jokes, and trust me, there are many, that developed over the years. We learned the true meaning of stockholder syndrome. But if you'll allow me the indulgence of one story to illustrate a point about Lisa. As part of the very first experience you encounter as a fellow, now mind you're locked away in a remote location with a group of people more precisely a group of academics, and this was way before cell phones, social media, you get thrown into this random group of new colleagues, usually with a broad swath of content specialties and disciplines, and you're handed this case study about a college in turmoil and told to fix it by morning. And together you have to solve that problem and be prepared to present to a mock board of trustees on how you're going to solve these problems. You have 12 hours, you have less than 12 hours. And did I tell you, like, we're locked in a room without windows, and in our case, we were somewhere in the mountains outside of Denver, which literally amounted to being locked in for 12 hours, no sunlight, no air, sleep deprivation, and a good dose of altitude adjustment to it all. Those were some good times, weren't they? Suffice it to say that in this exercise, that while most of the group were the young eating their own young and Nicene struggles abounded, so much that it even tested the wisdom of Solomon, our group emerged virtually unscathed, all because Lisa was there and served as a perfect example of care, concern, steely insight, and most importantly, wry wit. All skills that I know that serve her well and will serve her well this day and in this journey as she officially embarks upon becoming the president. Like the African proverb, if you want to go fast, go alone, and if you want to go far, go together. Lisa embodied that wit and humility in leading us to our own conclusions, allowing time, but not allowing us to suffer from analysis paralysis that happens often in higher ed. An important lesson for us all in leadership. However, for me on that night, and apologies to Doug, I fell in love with her instantly. Fast forward to today, and I remain fortunate to call her my professional colleague, a great sounding board, and one of those that I know and I can and I have tested, trust me, to call upon in any moment of need. I know that the communities here of Northern Illinois and Illinois in general have been through some challenging times most recently, but now emerging with Lisa in this leadership position as the first woman to lead Northern Illinois University, I know that her values and experiences will serve this academic community well. As I recently read your adopted set of values of curiosity and creativity, of equity and inclusion, of ethics and integrity, and of stewardship and service, I gently smiled to myself and thought, your community has those all embodied in this leader of yours. And most importantly, Lisa will continue to model those values as she works with all of you to create the future for NIU. And maybe even more importantly, for those who come after all of you that are here today. Moreover, and perhaps most, I'm lucky to call Lisa my friend, and humbled by the opportunity to be with her and Doug today on this occasion of her investiture. I did not grow up in a time nor a place where I could even begin to imagine that I would be here today, speaking to you on behalf of the work that I do, and for my friend who is taking on and moving forward with your sacred trust. Isn't education an amazing thing? Now, deep down inside, I know an investiture is not really what you were planning to do on this Friday afternoon, close to a month before the end of the semester. So that frame was important for me as I crafted my remarks for today. You know, and thinking about other times I've sat where you have sat, listening to the accolades about a new president, while the cynic, the academic, analytic academic in me, often daydreamed the time away. I felt it was most important to address the greater community today and provide a little bit of truth in advertising about what you're getting here in this new president, Lisa Freeman. It is true that Eleanor Roosevelt said that a woman is often like a tea bag because you don't know how strong she is till you put her in hot water. But, I think you can learn a lot about Lisa now without the hot water. As to know exactly how strong she is because of how she is. For this, please humor me for a 5-point proof, true to my academic roots. And at the end of it, what emerges is a mnemonic device to remember them all by. Because Dr. Freeman has been a part of this community, it's probably no surprise, as you've heard other speakers say today, that she is present and she has presence. You're likely to see her at a symposium on emerging research agendas as you are at a Husky sporting event. It's not that she's just there, but she's present with her presence in a way that's uniquely hers and with full engagement. My second point, and one that emanates from her presence, is empathy. Lisa gets it. Short and simple. She knows the struggles of a 10-year review, the grant that wasn't funded, the difficulty of being the only fill in the blank in a department, or as a student who is a member of the non-majority group. She literally has been there, got the t-shirt, and can tell you all about it. Because of her empathy, she is also available. Now, I don't mean like 24 hours call when you need her available, although she probably is. I do want to make sure that you know as a community that she is there. She's not aloof, not a distant, and not pretentious in that approachability at any level. It was said before, you all think we all had the same speechwriter. She sees you, and you will be seen. And because of these points above, you also know that Dr. Freeman has deep compassion. She feels deeply. And as a friend and a colleague, I have had the good fortune to see and receive that compassion firsthand. On this, you have my promise. Now, lest that you think those 4 characteristics make her soft, you're not really paying attention. Because in Dr. Freeman, you will also find a steely excellence and a drive for the best in thought, deed, process, and an outcome. You need only look at her CV to understand the academic and administrative bandwidth you have in this new president. But after I got all those 5 important characteristics out and down on paper, I noticed that they all spelled peace, P-E-A-C-E. And you know, I thought to myself, that is exactly the perfect word that I would use to describe Dr. Freeman. Peace. Peace in reflection, peace in demeanor, a humbleness and a kindness in spirit and thought. I've always believed that university presidents are most successful when they're well matched to their community and when they mirror that community that they're leading. So my challenge to those assembled here today in this moment is how will you mirror this peace to Dr. Freeman in her leadership of this place? I turn my challenge now to you, my friend Dr. Freeman, on this day as you're formally invested with the role of president. My challenge to you and your role as a leader is threefold. First, lead with your head tempered by your heart. I know that both of these are your true north. Use them here at NIU and as you have already throughout your life and career. Second, don't forget you can phone a friend. You know my number, you know others, and use them, please. Now, unlike the game show usage, there is absolutely no limit. And all of us assembled here today, and especially your friends and fellows from the 40th class, want you to succeed. We want you and need you to be the success in this role that we know you can be. And finally, I know this all seems a little overwhelming, no less punctuated by the pomp and circumstance and regalia, but do not be overwhelmed by this responsibility. As the kids these days say this, hashtag you've got this. And in my case, I can feel my phone vibrating. Somebody's already texted me, hashtag dad jokes. As Ralph Waldo Emerson reminds us, finish each day and be done with it. You have done what you could. Some blunders and absurdities no doubt have crept in. Forget them as soon as you can. Tomorrow's a new day. You shall begin it serenely and with too high of a spirit to be encumbered with your old nonsense. Lisa, may you find your resolve and do not wallow in second thoughts. Move ahead, tempered by not what only you know, but driven by the aspirations and your inspirations. This is a momentous day, but at its end, it is still just a day, a symbolic marker, a day that serves as the liminal median between the past and the future, a celebration of hopes and the future of Northern Illinois University under the leadership of this 13th president. Today seals this sacred trust between you, these students, this faculty, the higher education community, and all of those who wish for your success. My hope that your tenure here as president of Northern Illinois University actually is more successful than we can collectively imagine today. That your time in this role is professionally and personally rewarding, and that your leadership inspires others to follow your example. Bashana Tova, Mazel Tov, my friend. Congratulations, President Freeman.
There are 3 symbols involved in the investiture, and each symbolizes the special status of the institution's new chief executive. The first is the academic regalia that Dr. Freeman is wearing, which features 4 stripes or chevrons on the sleeve, with both stole and hood in the school colors rather than those of the academic discipline.
The second symbol is the President's Medallion, worn at all academic ceremonies and symbolizes the President's service to the office. The current NIU Medallion was created in 1968, more than half a century ago. It is now my pleasure to bestow this symbol of the office upon Dr. Lisa Freeman.
The third symbol is the mace. And it represents Dr. Freeman's authority to administer Northern Illinois University. At this time, I would ask you again to please stand. You thought you were done. Dr. Lisa Freeman, on behalf of the NIU Board of Trustees, I hereby invest you as the 13th president of Northern Illinois University with all the rights and privileges granted thereunto. Congratulations. Put that in the stand for you.
Thank you. I arrived here 10 years ago and immediately felt at home in this passionate and remarkable Husky community. So it is with great appreciation and respect that I stand before you today as Northern Illinois University's 13th president. I am honored and humbled and above all, inspired. NIU has a nearly 125-year history of providing transformational experiences to talented students. Experiences made possible by the academic excellence and compassion of our faculty and staff, and the success of our alumni. We are an engaged, student-centered research university, and we believe in the vision and the values articulated in the Illinois Public Agenda for College and Career Success. That higher education is a public good, and that Illinois will provide effective and quality education for all people. We would not be able to do this without the support of elected officials who share these beliefs and who care about NIU. I want to recognize those here today. State Senator Christina Castro, State Representative Jeff Kiker, former State Representative and Board of Trustees member Robert Pritchard, DeKalb County Board member Steve Favor, DeKalb Mayor Jerry Smith, and Sycamore Mayor Kurt Lang. Thank you for your support. I'm joined here today by mentors and colleagues who contributed to my success as a faculty member and administrator, as well as friends and family who not only support me, but also share my belief in everything this university stands for. I want to begin by recognizing some of the amazing individuals and institutions who have promoted my personal and professional success and shaped my vision. First, Cornell University, where I earned my bachelor's, master's, and doctorate in veterinary medicine, represented by the current dean of the College of Veterinary Medicine, Lauren Warnick. Cornell was created to expand access to higher education. Its founder, Ezra Cornell, said, "I hope we have laid the foundation of an institution which shall combine practical with liberal education. I believe we have made the beginning of an institution which shall prove highly beneficial to the poor young men and the poor young women of our country." His philosophy, Cornell's philosophy, has been a strong influence on my views about public higher education. And I am grateful for the myriad ways that Cornell University prepared me for success in my career and my life, particularly the fact that Cornell introduced me to my husband of almost 35 years, Doug Rose. It's wonderful to have former colleagues from Cornell here today to celebrate with us. We're also joined by a significant number of friends and colleagues from Kansas State University. I'm so happy to be celebrating this occasion with collaborators, co-investigators, mentors, and sponsors who supported me through tenure, promotion, and the transition to higher ed administration. The Wildcat way is to treat all members of the K-State community as family. I feel that way about everyone who traveled here from Manhattan, Kansas, known as the Little Apple. Particularly Ron Truen, who spoke today and who is always there when I need a sounding board, a shoulder, or comic relief. I also want to acknowledge my friends from the ACE Fellows Program, who came here for an excuse to wear regalia and the opportunity to celebrate the fact that one more from our ranks has become a university president. Since I met him in 2004, Michael Durnall has always been able to make me laugh at myself or roll my eyes at absurdity, but today he elicited a very different set of emotions. Michael, thank you for your kind words. Thank you to Board Chair Dennis Barcima and former board chairs Wheeler Coleman, John Butler, Mark Strauss, and Sherilyn Muir, and to the entire Board of Trustees for your confidence and support. Over the years, you have dedicated significant time and energy to helping NIU advance and succeed. I am grateful to have the opportunity to continue our important work. Work that builds on the legacy of leaders like former NIU presidents John LaTourette and John Peters. As provost and then as NIU's 10th president, John LaTourette saw the Northern Illinois region as a platform on which we could build an institution of national significance. He believed that a university that was consistently relevant to a region as dynamic and diverse as NIU's could not help but be influential well beyond that region's borders. I'd also like to thank NIU's 11th president, John Peters, for bringing me to NIU in 2010. John elevated our research and engagement missions. It was during his tenure that NIU was admitted to the Association of Public and Land-Grant Universities. Our students and our community have benefited from the university's strong commitment to talent, innovation, and place. First Lady Barbara Cole Peters also played a significant role shaping and reinforcing NIU's values and documenting our history. In a 4-volume compilation titled Women at Northern, The First 50 Years, she recognized the academic and cultural contributions of women who served, educated, and were educated at NIU. Although the Peters and the LaTourettes were unable to travel to DeKalb today, they are here with us in spirit. Thank you as well to the wonderful Huskies who represented our students, faculty, staff, and alumni today. Thank you, Carol, Pete, Katie, Kathy, Holly, and Kyrie for your words of encouragement and your constant willingness to support and champion NIU. Truly, you are smart, tough, and relentless Huskies who never quit. I want to end with special thanks and love to the family members who are here today. Doug, who is my strongest supporter and my best friend. Tommy, who we love as a daughter. And Doug's siblings, Muriel and John. It means a lot to me to have you all here. When I first visited NIU in 2009, I was attracted by the opportunity to advance research in graduate education. To quote my letter of application, I am enthusiastic about the opportunity to develop new research partnerships and programs at an institution that values instructional and scholarly quality, supports cross-disciplinary initiatives, and strives to integrate the discovery and application of new knowledge with undergraduate and graduate education. Joining NIU in 2010 confirmed my initial impressions regarding the university's ideals and revealed a deep and abiding commitment to excellence, opportunity, equity, and social justice. Many universities today are struggling just to begin the necessary work in these areas, but at NIU, they are part of our history. More than 50 years ago, in 1968, NIU inaugurated its sixth president, Roten Smith. In his inaugural address, President Smith challenged the university to focus on excellence and opportunity, saying, "The college degree has become the passport to achievement, to influence and affluence, and to leadership in 20th century America. We must find ways to make more widely available opportunities for earning this passport to the good life." That sentiment endures at NIU. As a university, we recently reaffirmed our commitment to excellence and opportunity, as well as to research, engagement, innovation, and creativity. A working group of faculty and staff from across the university was charged with reviewing and revising the university's mission statement to ensure alignment with the current culture and course of our university. To achieve this objective, they asked themselves questions like, why do we do what we do? For whom? And what does NIU stand for? They shared revised drafts of NIU's mission, vision, and values with the university community and incorporated the feedback received from students, faculty, staff, and alumni. The updated statements, which appear on the back of your program, reflect our priorities, speak to our aspirations, and capture our intentions. The language is suggestive of movement, purposeful movement, as heard in our vision to be an engine for innovation to advance social mobility, promote personal, professional, and intellectual growth, and transform the world for the benefit of the region, state, nation, and world. Not only are we moving, we are gaining momentum as our impact stretches across our region, nation, and beyond. The vibrant flags surrounding this stage only begin to represent where we have an impact, where we engage communities in ways that are significant and lasting, and where we are developing new partnerships, programs, and pipelines. These flags showcase the countries and cultures from which we draw our talented faculty, staff, and students, and the possible destinations for Huskies who seek to make a difference using their knowledge, skills, and experience. Our scientists, researchers, artists, and students are active on 7 continents, crossing disciplines to solve problems and preparing for a century of change. Their scholarship is forward-looking and focused on 4 themes: ecosystem resilience, demographic change, evolution of technology, and interpretation of our changing world. These 4 emphases reflect our desire to shape the future. They are responsive to critical challenges facing our society and relevant to our university. In fact, continuing this type of innovative and meaningful work on the international stage will only be possible if NIU itself is future-focused, prepared for change, and committed to long-term sustainability. This past August, as a candidate for the presidency, I spoke about a future for NIU, where we spend our time thinking about what's next, energized by future possibilities rather than discouraged by today's problems, where we move forward boldly because we have clarity about institutional goals, where we are willing to take risks and be emboldened to achieve our full potential. I am proud and happy to report that we are making progress, working collaboratively to fulfill ambitions that reflect common priorities and shared values. Let me share a few examples. Our new commitment to multi-year budgeting will help us to be purposeful about investing in our people and our programs to ensure that NIU is a place where faculty, staff, and students can thrive. Our willingness to form new partnerships with our local communities and with the private sector will help NIU to attract and retain talented faculty, staff, and students, and the communities to attract and retain new businesses and new jobs. Our enrollment management plan lays out the strategies that will guide our efforts over the next 5 years in support of 3 goals: strengthening our distinctive identity as a public university that combines educational opportunity with student engagement, achieving student enrollment that respects our mission and values while positioning NIU for fiscal sustainability, supporting equitable access, opportunity, and success for students from diverse backgrounds, where diversity is defined broadly. In these efforts and in our daily work, NIU's clearly defined mission and vision will serve to inform, to engage, and to keep us accountable and energized. Moreover, in pursuing our vision and fulfilling our mission, we will value and practice curiosity and creativity, equity and inclusion, ethics and integrity, service and stewardship. These institutional values mirror my personal values. As NIU's president, I will model inclusive decision-making. I will promote appreciation and respect for every member of our community, and I will expect the same from all university leaders. I am committed to moving this university forward in ways that foster greater appreciation for diverse perspectives and experiences. The more welcoming and inclusive we are, the stronger and more dynamic we will be. A place where voices can be heard, and for many of our students, a place where they can find their voices for the first time. And that's exciting. I want you to leave today knowing this, that our Husky community is dedicated, smart, deeply caring, innovative, and persistent. Relentless, really, when it comes to learning, creating, and living in ways that champion and advance our students and society. Our future cannot be underestimated, especially with your continued support and guidance. I am moved beyond words to be here today, and honored beyond my wildest dreams to be the 13th president of this wonderful university. I pledge to do my best to uphold the proud traditions of this institution and to help create its strong future. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for the work you do and the support you provide. And go Huskies.